Welcome back to Saturday Stand Up. Let's talk some Seattle Mariners baseball. So per usual, we are back with another week of Seattle Mariners questions that you guys dropped on Facebook or X. Some of these questions were leading well into the future, like the trade deadline, while others were just really fun questions. So let's get into question number 1. This one is a very fun question, and it's how many hot dogs do you think you could eat on one of those dollar dog nights? So this is a fun question. I think realistically, I can eat a lot, so I'm going to say maybe 15, really pushing it, maybe 20, but definitely my body would not enjoy that the next day. Okay, all jokes aside, let's get into some Seattle Mariners questions. So this one really isn't a question. They kind of put a question in there, but it's more or less a statement that I'm kind of just going to talk about. And it's, we just beat the best team in baseball. What does that make us? Right now, the Mariners are the best team in the MLB, and it's due to incredible pitching, especially the starting rotation. I'm going to start off with this nicely. The Mariners are just not the best team in the MLB. Not even close. They're maybe top 10. I would give them top 10 right now. I would not even put them top 3 or top 5 by any stretch. Their pitching is absolutely number 1, if not number 2 in the league based on who you ask. But in my opinion, they are definitely number 1 pitching staff in the entire league. Offensively, they don't even sniff. They sniff maybe top 15, and that kind of just depends on the series. And if only sports were that simple, where if you beat one team that's better than you, that automatically makes you better, that's not the case. Especially in baseball, where baseball is a sport where anyone can beat anyone on any given day, no matter how bad or how good that team is. And that's kind of the beauty of baseball. That's the one reason why I really like it, is that you could just watch it, and it's not a guaranteed sweep by anyone. Like, we should have easily swept the Colorado Rockies, and we didn't. We lost. Again, it's baseball, and that's what makes it enjoyable. So like I said, not really that this is a question, but no, the Mariners are not the best team in baseball just because they beat one of the top 3 teams in the league. So this is another good question. It's, will the addition of adding the new owners change Mariners spending? What else might it change, if anything? So I'm sure that most of you saw, but the team did announce that Microsoft Vice Chair and President Brad Smith and his wife Kathy Suris Smith have purchased stake in the Seattle Mariners. They become just the 3rd additions to the team's ownership group since 1992. And the next one after Griffey joined in 2021. So realistically, while this didn't get much publicity, especially amongst the community, but definitely this is a big deal for the Mariners. And in my opinion, it could really mean one of 2 things, and one being way better for Mariners fans than the second one. As we know, the Seattle Mariners are a very profitable franchise, especially as of right now, as they continue to grow and become better as a team. And imagine just if they win a World Series within the next 5 years, how big they'll really be. Reason 1 being the one that the Mariners fans really don't want it to be is the fact that they just really see long-term profitability in it. Like I said, they are a growing franchise, no doubt, and they continue to get better and better each year while doing it the cheap way, unfortunately, but they still are a very good team and will be for the coming years. So that's option number 1, is that they're really just in it for the long-term profit, and they saw the really profitability that the team can bring in for them. And number 2, which is kind of the long stretch that we're really not sure of because we didn't get much detail in it, but as a Mariners fan, we're kind of hoping these two come in, really just love baseball, and maybe just are really big fans of the Seattle Mariners, and really just hope to grow the franchise and be able to invest more money back into it. Again, that is the long shot, but we are hoping that they come in, offer up a lot of money to be able to make this team better and allow the team to go out and make more investments into players. And not just average to above average players. I'm talking about go out and get the stars. And that's obviously, like I said, the stretch that we're really hoping that they can bring to the ownership group. But again, it is possible, and it is one of the 2 main options that there are to pick from. And moving into the last question, which like I said is moving into the future a little bit, but when do we start looking elsewhere for offense? So the number 1 spot for a team to get better during the MLB season is the MLB Trade Deadline. And very clear early on, there are teams that will most likely be sellers based on their record so far, and there will also be teams like the Seattle Mariners that should be buyers. So if you want my blunt and true honest opinion on this, the Seattle Mariners need to be buyers at the deadline, and not just buyers for, another middle of the pack bat. They need to go out and get a Luis Robert Jr. or a Luis Ariz. And to me, those are just 2 guys that stand out. And like I said, very early, we're still a long ways away from the trade deadline. But just kind of early assumptions on 2 guys that I would love for them to target. And that would be obviously Ariz and Robert Jr., since the White Sox and the Marlins are clearly not very good, and they will not be very good this entire season. They're eventually going to have to get rid of those guys unless they really see that they can grow with them in a short period of time. So to me, the one that makes the most sense in the situation would be Luis Robert Jr., who is currently hurt right now, but they could really make a package of prospects and maybe a current outfielder like Luke Raley or someone like that to trade along with him to bring him in as a Seattle Mariner and have him play one of the corner outfield spots. Because like I said, if the Mariners really want to go out and make some moves and really get deep into the playoffs, they need to add another stud bat. While Robert and Arraez are two very different players, where Robert does strike out a lot like most Mariners, but he does also offer a lot of power in exchange, and obviously we know Luis Arraez is an absolute stud in terms of hitting for high average and low strikeout rates. So some of you may be questioning why I even brought up Luis Arraez in this situation, because we have Jorge Polanco and JP Crawford up the middle. One thing that the Marlins have been doing with him is he is kind of versatile. He has been playing first base a little bit this season. So let's say Ty France doesn't pan out like we hope so. Right now he's kind of off to a decent start, but his WAR really isn't all that. It's in the negatives actually. They can maybe offer up a package sending Ty France to the Marlins with some other prospects or maybe another player to get Luis Arraez to come in and play first base. I'm pretty sure he would be open for that. So again, realistically, in my opinion, the best way for the Mariners to add to the offense is just get a deeper and more studly bat in there for the playoff push, which hopefully we should be involved in by that time. They definitely need to go out and get a stud like Luis Robert Jr. or Luis Arraez. So thank you guys for your questions this week. It is fun kind of just getting my brain creative in terms of where you guys are at with your questions, whether it's future fun questions like a hot dog one or whatever it may be. I do appreciate you guys commenting your questions. And let me know who you would want to see the Mariners go get at the trade deadline. I know, yet again, we are far ways away, but please let me know what's a guy you think we should be targeting at the deadline. Otherwise, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.